following is a presentation of TFNN. Trade what you see with Larry Pesavento. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648 or internationally at 727-445-1044. Now, Larry Pesavento.
Okay, looking good, Billy Ray. Feeling good, Lewis. Folks, we're going to take a look at a few markets like we usually do. We're going to start out with the German DAX, which is the equivalent of our E-mini S&P. You'll notice that we had this tremendous rally post-election like the rest of the world. What's interesting is you'll notice that we've made a quadruple top up here. We've been here for 6 days now in the DAX and haven't broke out to the upside, which is rather unusual. We've done exactly the same thing, of course, in the Dow Jones and also the E-mini S&P. We've had some divergences between the NASDAQ and the IBB and things like that, but that's neither here nor there. I'm just going to walk through a couple of charts here to give you an idea what I'm looking at. We'll start out with this E-mini S&P, and we'll just see, where we are. We've had a great deal of emotionalism, as you know, and we have Norm Winsky as our guest today at 9:30, and he is looking at something, a very large cycle in here, as was Bill Meridian. This is the one from the 18th, and guess what today is? Today is the 18th, so we'll be watching it. We did make a slightly higher high by 1 point in the E-mini S&P overnight. We're still up near that high, but and we did pretty much the same thing in the Dow Jones Industrial Average by 2 or 3 points. So we'll watch this, very, very closely. Now, the next one we want to take a look at, of course, is the Dow Jones Industrial Average. And if you'll notice here that we are also setting up here at this 1.27. And of course, the Bradley model, if it's following true to form, and it's pretty tough to tell in here, but we bottomed, back on that low day in the Bradley down on November the 8th, which was election night, and then we've gone up to the 1.27, and we've actually been here for 6 days in the Dow Jones, up around this 19,000 level. So it's going to be very, very interesting. Now, if we take a look, that which we always do at the overall market, which is the New York Stock Exchange Index. This is the one I really like the best. You'll see that in the New York Stock Exchange Index that we had a totally different picture, because what we're doing here is we're seeing a 60 or 78% retracement of the move that we made from back in September. Remember that the New York Stock Exchange Index is not open overnight like we were on November the 8th during the election, so it would have probably gone down to the 78% level. If it did that, then what it would be doing, it would be making a 61% retracement of that move and not 78% retracement. Folks, it ain't easy, but let me tell you, there's some pretty stiff resistance up here in the New York Stock Exchange Index, in my opinion. That's the way it looks to me. So we'll be able to see how this is going to affect everything before it's all over. Okay, that's the second one, or the third one that we wanted to take a look at. We've looked at the German DAX and the New York Stock Exchange Index, the Dow Jones Industrial Average. Someone's asked a question that we were talking about the IBB yesterday, and you'll notice here, as you'll see, the IBB is by far the weakest of any of the indices that we look at. As you notice that we've made this triple top, which is basically that 135 pattern with lower tops. We were down sharply in the morning, but we rallied back with the rest of the market to close slightly higher on the day. So that's something that we want to keep in mind. Okay, let's get down to the nitty-gritty. This is what I think is important. It's my 2 cents worth. I could be wrong, but we've got to watch this real closely. I know the whole world is bearish interest rates, and I certainly am too, but not right now. I think we've got a chance for a substantial rally in here. If we I could be wrong, but you don't have to risk very much from this point, that's for sure. You'll notice here we made the 78% retracement of the low from 2015, a 50% retracement from the low in 2013, and a 38% retracement from the low or from the bottom in 2009. So this area of 152 is really important. Now we made a slightly lower low last night. In the bonds, we took out the previous day's low by two ticks, and then we rallied up, a point and a quarter, which isn't nothing in that market anymore. But that's not what I think is important, because I realize that everybody, Jeff, not everybody, but guys like Jeff Grunlock from I can't remember the Greenlight Capital, or I think it's Greenlight, is talking about higher interest rates. And believe me, I am really bearish interest rates. I've been bearish since July, but not right now. I think now is the time we've got a potential for a rally. Let me give you my 2 cents worth. First of all, the open interest is starting to change. We've had 2 days this week out of the 4, because we haven't done yet today. 2 of the 4 days we've dropped interest rate, open interest in bonds. That's when prices go down and open interest drops. That's a very bullish sign technically. So we want to keep that in mind very, very closely. But here's the one that really interests me, and this is the German Bund. Now the German Bund is huge. It's not as big as our 30-year Treasury bond. It's not even close, but it is big across Europe. Believe me, this is it's the German 30-year bond, and it is really big. And I want to show you a pattern that, if you like patterns, you got to pay attention to this, folks. This is the German Bund, and if you'll notice, we did not even make a 61% retracement when our 30-year bond was making new lows. And look what's happened today. It's taken out the previous day's high. This tells me that interest rates, they want to stabilize here and probably drop a little bit. Remember, we've been coming down hard since October 3rd, so that's a 6-week drop. Look closely at this German Bund chart, folks. You've got a perfect 61. I got to get too excited on this. Slow down, Larry. They have a beautiful 3 drive to a bottom pattern. It's just as symmetrical as you could possibly get. We're also at major support here. The market is acting like it wants to rally, and all I'm looking for is a rally back up to around 3 handles, up to around 163 and change, and then I would be looking, to go to the short side. But I think there's a lot of people on one side of the market on this trade. That's the way it, when I listen to the news and I watch what everybody's saying and I look at the chart, I think we've got a potential for a pretty good rally. That's the main thing that I'm watching here in the 30-year Treasury bond. So this is very, very important. Yeah, you're right, Terry. I got to say, I'm actually I'm traveling this week, so I'm excited to see my daughters today. So that'll be a lot of fun. What we will do is when we come back from our break here that we're going to take, we have to take a look at the precious metals, because we had some significant things happening with this breakdown yesterday that we really need to talk about, because the bullish scenario for gold and silver and platinum has changed dramatically, folks. To me, I don't think we're bullish anymore. So 877-927-6648. Norm Winsky at the break at the half hour.
TFNN is excited to offer a brand new piece of market scanning software unlike anything the industry has ever seen. John Logan and his team have spent years developing their market profile tools to finally be able to release the TAS Profile Scanner Plus. And right now you can get a 2-week trial absolutely free just by visiting TFNN.com and providing us your name and email address. The TAS Profile Scanner Plus is the premier market profile based scanner in the industry, powered by the acclaimed TAS TAS proprietary algorithms, this feature-rich scanner is a standalone desktop software that instantly filters over 2,500 global financial markets such as stocks, ETFs, commodity futures, and Forex. Within 3 minutes of signing up, you can have the software downloaded and running on your computer with a complete roadmap of market indicators and inflection points to trade off using the TAS Profile Scanner Plus. Sign up today and try this amazing piece of software by visiting TFNN.com.
Many of our new listeners have heard about the Tiger's Den, but wondered, what exactly is it? The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of your favorite TFNN shows, plus see all the charts as they happen live during those shows, and have access to all those charts. You can test drive the Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days. It will greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets. Details on the Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com.
The Path of Least Resistance is David White's daily trading newsletter, and if you're looking for active trading ideas, then now's a perfect time for a 30-day free trial to this powerful daily trading advisory service. David uses his years of trading experience to offer his subscribers his trading ideas each morning in his Path of Least Resistance newsletter. Using a combination of equity trades along with options, David keeps his subscribers up to date with all pertinent market information with intraday afternoon updates when warranted. Don't miss out on this great chance to get a 30-day free trial to David's daily newsletter, The Path of Least Resistance, with no obligation to pay anything. David has been delivering solid recommendations for his subscribers recently, and if you'd like to see the type of newsletter he delivers every morning, then visit the front page of TFNN and you'll find the Path of Least Resistance under Trading Newsletters. For all the details and to start your 30-day free trial today, log on to TFNN.com now.
Tiger TV is an exciting way to experience TFNN programming. See high-definition video, giving you crystal clear charts, as well as seeing some of the faces of TFNN's highly acclaimed financial experts with crisp, full-fidelity sound. Catch Tom O'Brien, John Logan, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, Larry Pesavento, Think or Swim, David White, Andy Hecht, and Daryl Martin in crystal clear, high-definition audio and video. Tiger TV, exclusively at TFNN.com. Larry takes your phone calls now. Toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044.
Okay, we're back, folks, and we're going to take a look at the precious metals here. We're going to start out with silver. As you know, last Friday, we hit a perfect 61% retracement in silver at that 1650 level. We rallied for 3 days very, very quietly. And then yesterday, we took out those lows of the week by quite a bit. And now that we've, this is turned down, in my opinion, folks. If I'm wrong, the market will explode out of here, and this will be a false breakout. But right now, I don't see how you can possibly be long gold and silver. I had bought gold, when it hit 1218. What I did was, after we had that rally up into the 1233 level, I moved the stop up to break even so that you wouldn't lose anything on the trade. That was elected yesterday. And I felt good about it. I mean, even though I had a nice profit of $14 in the gold, I gave that back up looking for more, but I didn't, let the trade go to a loss because of the start that it had. And the fact, there was other thing, is that it didn't break out above the 1230 level in gold like it should have. Let's take a quick look here at the gold, and you're going to see something that we think is very, very important. And if you'll notice here, this is that 20-minute line that we were talking about. This has now been broken to the downside, folks. We have matched the low that we made way back in July. Now, there's a possibility there could be a cycle bottom coming in here earlier the week, and that's just a nominal cycle, looking at from one cycle to the next. But right now, you just have to stand aside in it because it just doesn't look very good. It really doesn't. If you add to this, what platinum looks like, you're going to and platinum also made new lows. This is not a situation that you want to be looking at too closely from the long side. This is totally different than the Treasury bond because the Treasury bond has a whole lot of numbers that haven't been broken there yet. Whereas we've done that in gold, silver, and platinum, and that's not a good sign. When you add to that, we've had a we've had about a 40-cent drop in copper. Yeah, over 40-cent drop in copper this week, which is another indication that the metals might be, heading lower. So we got to pay, very, very close attention to that. Now, the culprit in all this, if there is such a thing as a culprit, is the U.S. dollar index. One of the things we did yesterday is we pointed out the fact that the euro was a good sell up there at that 107.40 level, and it dropped well over 140 pips to the downside. And so we're going to be, keeping an eye on this, because if we look at the U.S. dollar index here, you'll notice here that we have taken out the highs of the last several years up at this area of 101. Now we are in a run now. We're in a 10-day run, so you could easily, get a correction in this level, and that's what we're looking at. The other one, of course, is that Japanese yen. We were looking at that yesterday at the 109.40 level. It broke, well over almost 100 pips to the downside, and then when the dollar started, to strengthen, that one just went up into new high ground. We almost got to the 111 area in the Japanese yen. So here again, this U.S. dollar is, they're playing the tune that everybody's listening to. So pay very, very close attention to that. I would like to bring this last chart up, not the last chart, one other chart that I want to look at here. This is the utility index. And if you'll notice here, you can see what's happened to the bonds. The bonds have collapsed down, quite a bit to the downside, and yet we're holding here in the utility index. That tells me that this bond market's getting ready to rally. We got a caller from Boston. Jay, are you there?
Hey, yeah. Good morning, Larry.
Good morning.
Yeah. Speaking of bonds, the TBT, the shorting the great bond bear market. Do you think this is a good time, an advantageous time to get into the TBT and just close my eyes and just let it roll?
Jay, that's like asking somebody to tell them how beautiful their daughter is. I happen to be already in that trade. I'm not short the TBT. I'm long the TLT, which basically is the reverse of that. In other words, you're looking to go long the bonds. I'm out less than a point in it right now, and I've got a very, very close stop. Any weakness today will probably take me out, but right now it's right where I think it should be. And when I look at all of this, when I look at the German Bund and I look at the utility index, these are the ones that scare me the most because it's so clear to me, and I'm the only one that sees it. So that's what's so difficult about it, Jay. But I do like the long bond here for a rally, and it's I'm very, very bearish. I think we're going to take this low out probably in the next couple of weeks, but we're very, very oversold, and we need to rally a little bit from what I'm looking at in the charts. But believe me, long term, we got higher rates staring us in the face, hands down. I don't think there's any question about that.
Yeah, I see. So hold off, in other words, on the TBT and just let this rally roll, let it bounce up again here,
yes.
and then
then
get ready for the big drop.
What happens. Yeah, I think if you had, and I've already made my decision on this. If you had to, put a gun to my head, which you are doing, is I'm looking for a rally in the bonds. We took out the previous day's low by 2 ticks yesterday, and the German Bund, which is a huge market in Europe, coming out of Germany, wouldn't even go down, and then it reversed and took out the highs of the week with a strong, and that tells you that interest rates in Germany have backed off a little bit, which is unusual because given the fact that the U.S. dollar is doing what it's doing, that usually isn't working. So we're seeing some signs that, that's very simple. The one that I look at the most for all of this is that Dow Jones Utility Index. It's only 20 stocks, but they're very, very large stocks, and they're all dividend paying, and that's why it has such a high correlation to the bonds. That's the perfect Gartley pattern at the 61% retracement. That's what I'm looking at.
I see. Do you think the TBT is the vehicle to use to cash in on the great bond bear market that we might be looking at?
Yeah, either that. Yeah, sure. You could. Yeah, that's the one. That's the easier one to trade because the 30-year bond is the largest of all. Well, actually the note is the 20-year note is the largest of all the commodities, but the bonds I believe is second. So though all of those are really good. That's the main thing that you want to be looking at.
Yeah, I mean, with Trump talking about rebuilding the entire infrastructure of this nation, it just seems like such a no-brainer for interest rates to rise with all that borrowing. I think Andy Hecht is echoing that same concept in an article that he just posted on Seeking Alpha.
Well, I think that's the way to go. I mean, and Andy's a pretty smart guy, so we'll see if it's right. And you're wrong because if you get weak today and close badly today, this trade it's not going to work, and we're going to probably interest rates are going to probably spike up here, shortly. So we'll see. But the whole world, what I think, Jay, is when the Fed finally changed it, or this is going to do the opposite, whatever do that.
Ah, terrific.
Hey, thanks for calling in, my friend. I appreciate it. You bet.
Yeah,
May
thank
God
you.
bless.
Happy weekend. Thanks.
And happy holidays to you, by the way. Happy holidays.
Thanks. Same to you.
You bet. Stay tuned for Norm Winsky.
Larry Pesavento has just started his brand new service, Fibonacci 24/7, and he's already delivering content to his subscribers on a daily basis when the market's opened and even on weekends. Each Monday, you'll receive Larry's written report that provides detailed commentary and a summary on the charts and videos that Larry sends out. And throughout the week, when warranted, Larry will send out via charts or videos or both the key markets that he is watching during the day. This will be up-to-the-date, active trading information that will help you in your daily trading. In Larry's first week alone, he sent out 25 charts, 6 videos, and a full report to his subscribers in just 1 week. If you're a technical trader that uses patterns and retracements to trade, then Larry's service Fibonacci 24/7 is something that you must try. Right now, new subscribers can get a full 30-day money-back guarantee. With nothing to risk, sign up now to Larry Pesavento's Fibonacci 24/7 by visiting the front page of TFNN.com under Trading Newsletters. In quiet markets, investors search for new trading opportunities. We'd like to introduce you to a new product that provides opportunities even in flat markets. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a new and innovative Chicago-based exchange registered with the Commodity Futures Trading Commission, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their trading platform. Nadex never charges a fee to use their platform, which even includes real-time charts and full customization capability. Nadex's unique short-term binary options allow traders and investors to capitalize on strategies even when the underlying markets are quiet. Nadex's innovation has allowed them to come up with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com, or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors.
Platinum, grains, crude oil, gold, copper, cattle, hogs, gasoline, natural gas, coffee, cotton, cocoa, and sugar. These are just some of the commodities mentioned in the most recent issue of Andy Hecht's Technomental Commodity Report. Andy publishes his weekly newsletter every Thursday morning, where he breaks down the commodity market and provides his subscribers with specific trading recommendations based on his trading methodology. By signing up for a free trial to the Technomental Commodity Report, you'll get a full 30 days to try out this powerful newsletter service and see for yourself the types of trades Andy has recommended for his subscribers. When you sign up for a 30-day free trial, you're under no obligation to pay anything. And should you decide to continue, you will lock in the low rate of only $79 a month. Sign up right now for the Technomental Commodity Report and make sure you're ready to catch the next big trade in commodities. For more information and to get started today, visit the front page of TFNN.com. This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Okay, folks, we now have Lewis Winthorpe III coming in to talk to us in the form of Norm Winsky of Astro Trend. Norm, how are you?
Great, Larry. Thanks for having me on. Good morning.
It's my pleasure, my friend. You've got the mic, so go ahead. We'd love to hear from you.
Yes, sir. So we got the big cluster this weekend. I think I talked about it briefly when I was on earlier in the month. And we have three big planetary events. One is my favorite type of thing. We have Jupiter lining up in the U.S. chart, the U.S. astrological natal chart, with Saturn, and that should affect your U.S. financials, stocks, T-bonds, and the U.S. dollar. For a big, this only occurs about every 11 and a half years. And so we have that happening this weekend. And then we also have, Neptune turning direct. And for the people who are new out there, due to the relative motion of the Earth, we're here on Earth. All the planets are going around the sun at different speeds. So if you're driving in your car, it's like when you're driving in your car at 60 miles an hour, somebody goes past you at 70. If you glance out your side window, you might get the impression that you're going backwards. So that's what happens here with the planets. And when we go out, look at the sky, if you plot the planets, you'll notice that occasionally, individually, a planet will look like it stopped its motion and then reverse its direction. That's what Neptune is doing this weekend. And that's one of my favorite top things for forecasting a change trend in the market. When the planets change direction, change trend, the markets change trend. It's a high batting average, very good average on this. And the two markets indicated for this are the stock market, because it's the big basket of everything, and more specifically oil. So keep your eye on the oil. Okay, then we also have a lineup this weekend of Saturn and Pluto. And Pluto is, Saturn is coffee. And then Pluto, we have the three Pluto-related markets, which are cocoa, bonds again, indicated, and hogs. Yeah, cocoa, hogs, and bonds. There you go. So that's in line with what you were saying, Larry, earlier, about the bonds here are due for a change in trend here over the weekend. So we also have the oil. It's the two markets I have highlighted in my presentation here, the stocks and the bonds. And we also have Gann, like the market math, certain numbers were key numbers for Mr. Gann. And this weekend we have, on the 19th, we have 6,084 days, which again loved the square numbers. That's 78 squared from the March 24, 2000 S&P top. And so that's this weekend. So that's kind of a neat thing. And then we have and then we have then we have an Astro key date window coming up for Monday the 21st, probably related to some of these points I mentioned here. So moving on ahead here now.
I have a question, Norm. One of our listeners, you mentioned several months ago that when you were looking at the Bradley model, you found that the retrograde motion of some of these planets really affects how the Bradley market works. And I know you've done a great deal of work on this particular thing. Could you expand on the folks what that means when I know you talk about it a little bit, but they've asked one more time to explain what it means about retrograde motion in a planet.
All right. Well, it's not just retrograde. It's any time the planets have what's called a station point. That's when the planet looks like it's stopped its motion to reverse its direction. And I've noticed over the many years that that's when, one of the great frustrations the Bradley model is that it has inversions. You'll be going along and you go, wow, this is great. And all of a sudden, boom, it flips upside down, and, then it's not good when you don't know that's going to happen. And so I've been able to a great degree, be able to forecast when we're going to get an inversion. So if you think of an electromagnetic field, like back in high school science class there, or back when I was a kid, you used to go, Larry, you might have gone down to your local 5 and dime there and get yourself a little electric motor and hook it up to a battery. And then that's good for about 15 seconds of entertainment. And then you say, what can I do next? And then you flip the battery around and the motor goes the other way. Well, there you go. So when these planets have a station point, they stop to turn backwards. That's called retrograde, or stop to go forward. That's called direct. Often the energy field will invert. So that's and then we know it's the station points, I think, are one of the top points to forecast that. Then you can forecast when your model is going to invert, when it's going to flip, and that we're due to have that here this weekend when Neptune turns direct. Okay, did that do it? Did you think
It certainly did.
covered?
I think the interest in this was peaked when you called the high in the market on May the 19th of 2015, when we had, Mercury going retrograde, and it was also on a new moon. So we've always remembered that one. So that's a great description.
We also had one more recent. Oh, sorry, but we also had one more recently, Larry, on August the 15th over that weekend. Saturn, I think, turned direct, and I had a bunch of things lining up also. But that was I think for the S&P, that's still the high of the year.
Yes, it's certainly a big time for sure. That's good. Now, do you want to discuss the S&P chart that you have here?
Okay, that's kind of interesting.
Sure.
Here's your S&P chart on page 2, and we have this green line here, which held the lows all the way till October, and then we broke that. Now, most technicians would, once a line is broken, they throw it in the garbage. I don't. Mr. Gann told you that the key lines can not only act as price, but price equals time. So a lot of times, you may have noticed, Larry, that you had this big green line here going all the way back to the February lows, connected the, the Brexit low in June. And now we're getting ready to intersect with the August 15th high. And whenever that happens, it's that should be a key change in trend, and we're probably maybe within one trading day of hitting that point. So it gives you a timing point, Also, the market's coming right back up from underneath it. When you break a line, a lot of times the market will break and then come back up and kiss that line again from underneath. And then if it doesn't get over it again, that could be the kiss, say kiss goodbye,
I'm certainly familiar with that one.
There you go. We all are, I think. Going back to high school, I think maybe, or something, college days, whatever.
Oh, at our age, of course, we remember that. Now, the next one we wanted to talk about here is the crude oil market. So let's take a quick look at that and tell us what you're seeing here in crude oil. And this is another one that's affected by Neptune quite a bit, isn't it?
Absolutely. Let me just mention in parting, S&P 500, that high on August 15th was 2193.81, and so we're getting close to that on the S&P 500, and I had that number very close. I had 2195, which is a key harmonic number, because Larry, you posted a video a few weeks back. I think it was called Sonic Harmonic, and it was all about the number 432, which is a key to the Earth is tuned to 8. And we got it. Is it music time, Larry?
Yeah, music time. But we'll cover that when you come back, Norm. Stay with us, please. You have time?
I'm here for you, Larry. That's it.
Okay, we'll be right back, folks. Pay a few bills.
Today, it's hard to tell if the economy is coming or going. Regardless, I want my money going in the direction I choose. If that's your stance as well, then you want to know how Everbank can help keep your money thriving just the way you want. Is growing your money a priority? Everbank is committed to a yield pledge promise to pay high yields on your checking, money market, and CD balances. Looking to diversify? Everbank ingeniously developed accessible ways to spread your money around the world into foreign currencies and even non-FDIC insured metals. And when it comes to your wealth, they bring a highly experienced and global perspective to help you manage it. Everbank's financial philosophy flies in the face of the status quo. They believe your money's performance should not be determined by today's economic circumstances, but by the drive to rise above them and create opportunities that favor your objectives. If that excites you like it does me, visit everbank.com/TFNN to find out what they can do for you. Again, that's everbank.com/TFNN. Visit them today. Everbank is a member FDIC and equal housing lender.
It's 2016, and TFNN has a brand new programming lineup to kick things off. Starting January 4th, Swim Lessons by Thinkorswim and TD Ameritrade will be airing 5 days a week at noon Eastern Time. Join hosts Scott Connor, Kevin Hinks, and Cindy Faber as they host their daily options program live at noon 5 days a week with no commercials for the entire hour. Nico DeHaan and Paige Clark will be moving their program, Living a Primal Lifestyle, to twice a week, Tuesdays and Thursdays from 7 a.m. until 8 a.m. Eastern Time. Wake up with Nico and Paige and start your day off right. The Bull Bear Binary Option Hour by Nadex will now be live Mondays and Fridays at 10 a.m. Start and end the week with the three hosts, Tom O'Brien, Tommy O'Brien, and Daryl Martin, as they break down the world of trading binary options and spreads. For all the details on the new 2016 programming lineup, visit the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors. Biotech is booming, but for how long? Whether you think the biotech bull has room to run or has run its course, trade LABU or LABD. Directions Daily S&P Biotech 3 times bull and bear ETFs. Visit directioninvestments.com/biotech today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
The Bull Bear Binary Option Hour, sponsored by Nadex. Up next on TFNN.
Okay, we're back, folks, and we're talking about sonic geometry with Norm Winsky. Folks, there's a video out there that if you'd like to have it, if you'll email me at larrypesavento@gmail.com, I'll send it out to you. It's the best 15-minute description of what these numbers of harmony in the universe mean. It's just absolutely mind-boggling. And Norm was talking about that. And to me, it's the best I've ever seen for 15 minutes. So if you'd like to see that, just let me know. Norm, go ahead. And we were talking here about Neptune and crude oil.
Oh, you didn't want me to go follow through on the sonic geometry?
Yes, I do.
All right,
yes,
well,
I
there
do.
you go.
You've
I
got-
have a bit of a musical background in my youth. I played the violin, and the whole entire orchestra tunes to what's called violin A, which is near 432. The modern people in their infinite wisdom have tweaked that a bit, but 432 is harmonically related to the Earth. It vibrates at 8, and the 432, I think, is the 54th octave of 8. So there you go. So the entire orchestra tunes to the A string on the violin, which is tuned to roughly 432. This has been going for several hundred years. Back there, we've had musical inflation. Back in Mozart's day, the number they tuned to was actually about 425 or so, and it's creeped up over the years. And then in the early 20th century, they got together and decided to stick it at about 440. But the natural harmonic is 432. So we multiply that times pi, 3.1414, and multiply that times 1.618. Guess what you get, Larry? 2195.
Yep.
Market topped at 2193.81 on the 15th of August. That's all. It's off by $1.08.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. So kind of
Well,
interesting. So that's a key level here, I believe. And I think we're due to have a change in trend here over the weekend. It could stretch into Monday. I got one or two things that are, saying Monday, Tuesday, so it could pull a little bit into maybe Monday. Mm-hmm. I'd love to see the important thing for doing these trades is setup. You have to have a good setup. You don't always get a good setup. Many times you don't. But when you get to an extreme at these key times, that's when you're most likely to have a good trade. And so we'd like to see a little bit of a rally here today, test the high, that August 15th high on the S&P 500. And then that would give you possibly a good setup for a change in trend over the weekend or possibly on Monday,
Mm-hmm.
We've Okay, I also have a couple of interesting intraday key times today. Watch for right around 2:51 p.m. Eastern Time. That could be a reversal time if we pull back into the afternoon. We could make a low there and then rally into the close. So watch that. Write that down. 2:51.
That's
Venus
about
is going
10. Right before the closing hour, right? Just right before the last hour.
2:50 last hour. 2:51 p.m. Eastern Time. It could also
So
be
2
important.
hours.
Yeah, it could be important for oil because Venus is going to line up with Neptune again. We have a Neptunian theme going here,
Okay.
All right.
Makes good sense.
There we go. So let's go look at oil now. And if we have time, we can always go back and talk about some of the other markets that are indicated. Here's your oil chart. The oil is not giving us the beautiful setup we'd like. So here's an example of the oil has had a bounce here. Unfortunately, it looks like it made a low early in the week. If by some miracle we could get the oil to come back down and test that low we had a few days ago, then that would be it could be a beautiful thing, When we have these, when they bounce like that ahead of the big time window, then you might just get a bit of this could be a rally, just a bounce top. Could be a bounce top here, into the weekend.
Norm, we have a question. We have a question for one of our listeners from Canada about the Russell Small Cap. Do you do any work with that, and are you seeing the same type of a pattern with the Russell Small Cap, or do you do that at all?
Don't do much at all with the Russell. It's a stock index. I'm sure it's probably related to as you start getting more specialized in this sector or that sector, then it relates more and more to a particular planet or signs and so forth, more like a commodity. So not as highly correlated as a broader indices. But you could still get a change in trend. I think we could get a change in trend in quite a few markets that are at an extreme this weekend, So I haven't looked at the Russell. I know it had a big move up here to make a new all-time high, I think, for the year in the last few days or something like that. So it's kind of in bubble land, isn't it?
I think so.
Yeah.
We have another question for one of our listeners. This time it comes from Singapore, and that is, what is your feeling on the precious metals, gold and silver? Do you have any feeling on that, Norm?
No, sir. I try to keep my thinking out of this and do what the planets tell me. And they, amazingly, I've gotten very few signals on gold or silver this year, and so I don't write about them. In past years, they've been active, but not this year. So that's it. I do it. I will give you one little tip. On election night, we had when the planets change direction, the markets change direction. Mars went into just past midnight. Mars changed signs. It went into the sign Aquarius, which is opposite the sign of Leo, which is the sign for gold. So it was making an opposition to the sign for gold, and within that hour, that was that spike high on the gold on election night.
Mm-hmm. Within the hour.
Within the hour.
Wow, that's very good.
I think I showed you that a few days ago, didn't I?
Yes, you did.
Copper,
yes, but,
and copper took off there too, which Aquarius is for copper, and I feature that in my letter. I have a section there where I track Mars going through the different signs about every 5 weeks, and it tends to energize a market that whatever market is associated with that sign. So it's going into Aquarius, and then the copper took off. That's when the copper kind of went parabolic,
Yes, it did. It went 30 cents up and 30 cents down in a period of about 4.5 hours.
There you go.
So I guess they would call that some type of a spike high for sure. Norm, we're going to have to talk here for just a little bit, and then the music will start. And then when we come back, we can talk about this holiday that's coming up, and you got some really a holiday special for everybody. Your usual money back guarantee program, which is free, so you can't go wrong with that. Are you still offering money back guarantee on your free program, right, Norm?
If they mention your name, Larry, they get double your money back.
Double the money back.
Double your money back. It's free and double your money back guaranteed.
Yeah. Oh, folks, when I talk about shut the front door and raise the rent, that comes from a movie called Blazing Saddles that was done by Mel Brooks many, many years ago. It happened to be Elvis Presley's favorite movie. He watched it like 100 times. I've read, but anyway, that's where it comes from.
I think they had a scene in there, Larry, where they were talking about trading
when I
natural.
say that, it's.
I think they had a scene in there, Larry, where they're talking about trading natural gas, right?
Yeah, Norm, you're absolutely correct, and you have to watch the movie to see it. But you got a good sense of humor, Norm. I don't know where you got that. It must have been from your days in Terre Haute, Indiana, right?
Thank you very much.
Okay, we're going to come right back with Norm Winsky of Astro Trend.
Hi, I'm Steve Rhodes, host of the Trader's Edge, heard daily at TFNN.com and author of Mastering Probability, a daily investment and trading newsletter service that I send out each morning by 8 a.m. My morning newsletter service covers exactly what the markets have been doing since last night's close, providing you with an edge on your trading day ahead. You get actionable trading ideas, including the exact entry, stop, and profit targets. Plus, I'll teach you the patterns and hidden market correlations that will make you a better trader. As a subscriber, you'll gain access to my 90-minute money management workshop, where I'll teach you the secrets that'll save your assets. The bottom line, I've got your back, including a 30-day money-back guarantee. See for yourself the type of analysis I provide each trading day by signing up for Mastering Probability today. With nothing to lose, this is an offer you should not pass on. Mastering Probability can be found under Trading Newsletters on the front page of TFNN.com.
Tom O'Brien's weekly gold letter, The Gold Report, gives complete and concise coverage of the entire gold market. Inside, you'll get Tom's commentary on gold, the dollar, the rand, the bond, the XAU, the HUI, and detailed coverage of nearly 25 mining stocks. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock trade. The Gold Report is a long-term newsletter where the focus is on building real wealth through the management of a successful portfolio of gold stocks. With a lifetime of knowledge and almost 12 years of writing his informative weekly newsletter, The Gold Report, Tom O'Brien can provide you with the important market information to help you make better trades in the gold market. Don't let the next bull run in gold pass you by. To get a month-long free trial to the Gold Report, an $85 value, visit the front page of TFNN.com today.
Since 1984, Basil Chapman has been using the Chapman Wave methodology to advise traders of his expert market opinion. While originally hand-drawing charts from the late 1970s into the 1980s, Basil noticed that prices under most circumstances virtually always had a certain number of legs to the upside before declining sharply. Later, Basil found that computer software, which included the standard market technical indicators, enhanced the degree of accuracy in calling price turns, as well as market trend calls. Thus was born the Chapman Wave sequence. Using the Chapman Wave methodology along with other indicators, Basil Chapman advises his subscribers of his expert market opinion each market day with his opening call newsletter. Right now, you can get a 2-week free trial to the opening call, Basil's daily trading newsletter, by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Cancel at any time during that trial and pay absolutely nothing. Get your 2-week free trial to Basil's newsletter, The Opening Call, today by visiting TFNN.com.
This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Okay, we're back, folks, and we're finishing up here with Norm Winsky of Astro Trend. Norm, why don't you, I posted in there your contact information and what you're offering to the folks, but folks, if you have any interest at all in astrology, pay attention to Norm here because he's giving you some great information for free. So go ahead, Norm, fire away.
Yes, sir. For any new folks out there who don't know me, I got almost as much experience as Larry there. I'm a little, just a few days younger, eh, Larry?
Yeah, days. Yeah, you got that.
Anyway, so I started studying markets when I was 15 years old. I'm 65 now. So, and I was a Chicago floor trader. I was on the CBOE and the Chicago Board of Trade back in the 70s and the 80s. Put about 12 years in there and so forth. So I got a little bit of experience. I've been looking at the markets every day for all these years. And I can actually, with the astrology, you can actually forecast down within a few minutes during the day on the, and
We've
so
seen
we've
that
got,
before.
yeah, it works really well. And I cover about 30 markets, stocks, T-bonds, currencies, and most major commodities. And so I have a class that goes with the letter. If you'd like to take a look at the letter, I also have a course to teach you astrology over about a 6-month period. And so if you contact me, it's kind of too late to talk about the November letter. I kind of already showed you the major points left in November. But if you contact me, I'll put you in the queue to get it's individual class, 4 to 5 hour class, just you and me, teaching you astrology, advanced Fibonacci, fractals. I do fractals. They're fascinating, very simple forecast method that I could teach a 10-year-old to do, and we can beat Wall Street with that, So anyway, we can. So if you contact me, here's my contact info here on the screen. I'm in Florida, 239-594-3939. If you Google me, you'll probably get the wrong email address on the website there, so make sure you eventually find it. But the best is nwinsky@embarkmail.com. Looking forward to helping some of your folks. Trying to get a hold of me right away. The sooner we get to the end of the month, which will be Thanksgiving, that'll be I'll get busier. Won't be able to talk to you as long. So call me right away. Looking forward to helping some of your folks, Larry. Thanks for having me on the show, Larry.
My friend, and you bet.
Everybody have a great Thanksgiving. Thank you.
If you're an active trader looking for that extra edge when it comes to trading and investments, then now is a great time to get a 2-week free trial to Tom O'Brien's daily market letter, Market Insights. Tom O'Brien's daily newsletter, Market Insights, comes out every market day at around 9:30 a.m. and provides Tom's daily commentary on the broad market, including the Dow, NASDAQ, and S&P, plus specific trade recommendations. There's even an update published most afternoons to keep you informed about the day's market activity. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock and option trade. With Market Insights, there's nothing left to guessing. For all the details and to get your 2-week free trial to Market Insights started today, visit TFNN.com.